John.
Welcome everybody finally to episode 4 of Island Paradise Park. Today we're going to be building the dark jungle of the islands, which is a little against the theming, but I'll get to that in just a minute. Here you can see the space that we're going to be building this. It's a huge tour with the Jurassic Park Ford Explorers. I'm going to replace this fence that I put down here as a placeholder last time because I don't like it, and I'm going to use my fence overlapping trick that was features in Evo's video, that glitch that I found about a year ago. I started to play some track here that I ended up replacing. I'm doing something a little different with this video. I only tried to record as much as the Xbox well, and then I just throw all that footage in, try to have everything in there. But this video is a lot of placing trees, so I cut some of that out. So here I go, I'm placing the individual sections of fences to help cover weight. Even just this, I think, looks a lot better because you have those strong beams that are closer together. And I really want to nail the strength of this fence, because this section of the islands, it goes against the theming of the paradise, but that's intentional because this section has the Utahraptor habitat. And what I'm saying is that when Masrani and Jin and Biosin came to this island to build the park, because the story of this park, they're all working together as one company to build these little parks around the world. This was like they already had species here, like a Sorna type thing, but then the dinosaurs, so they were able to capture most of them, but the Utahraptors they couldn't capture because the jungle was too thick and they hunt down other soldiers that they sent in and they couldn't get them from helicopters. So what they did was they just built this super strong fence around the area and hope the Utahraptor doesn't get out. That doesn't make sense from the other side where we just literally have a concrete barrier they could step over, but also theming wise, you know, it just gets less from the theming the farther you go into the park. The more you see the cracks in the illusion, which is I think something we're going to continue with. If I thought of this at the beginning of the build, I could have done a little better. But at the start of the build, you know, it looks safe. It's a paradise. As you go through, the cracks start to show. So yeah, here I'm going on one side with the Jurassic World Strength 4 fence, and on the other side with the Strength 5 Jurassic Park fence, and I'm putting in some floodlights. I'm about to go into the nighttime so you can see what this looks like. It's exactly like John Hammond would have imagined. It looks very cool. Because, yeah, here you can see the red lights, but also the little footing goes through from the other side. I think it creates this really strong look. By the way, I have to say this, so Ian Malcolm has a message for you.
If John doesn't subscribe,
don't be like John. Nobody likes John. Subscribe. I'm sorry, that was not funny, but anyways, so yeah, we have this huge space. I was trying to just sort of think about what am I gonna do here, because I don't have enough room to do something really cool with the terrain. Here I was trying to do something with the path. I ended up changing my mind because 1 space, 2, we need to fit the Dinochires in here somehow. So that's just gonna be for that episode. Here, yeah, I'm placing the actual track that we end up keeping. Something that's going to be in here, though, as you see me sketch it out here, we're going to have this sort of abandoned facility. So when the original company, I don't know who built this islands, whoever built their park here originally, and then they had the, here just a second, I'm putting in the Hawaiianosaurus that you guys adamantly requested. I'm putting in the movie skin and, of course, the red and black skin. So what was I saying? Yeah, the original people built this facility where they were breeding dinosaurs for whatever reason, and they had to abandon it and leave it in the jungle, and the Utahraptors took over the central command post. So now all that's left is this this ruined place that we now have the tour go through. I was saying, like, the Utahraptors are too dangerous to send the tour, so I don't know why there's a tour actually going through it. Maybe at first that was the thing, they couldn't capture the Utahs, and now they've turned it into a nighttime experience with this really clear divide that you can see that I think looks really nice in the end. Not as great as I wanted it to be, especially with the invisible fence standing out, which is kind of ironic because they should, the invisible fence being the most visible thing in the build. But yeah, anyways, you can see I pulled the tour building away because we've all attached it to the fence a bajillion times. I want to do something a little different here. Here's where I'm pulling the tour through, where it's going to be the abandoned facility. And the tour goes by itself right here and past the aviary. Unfortunately, I couldn't send it into the aviary since the aviary is sunk into the ground. But, you know, you can drive by, maybe get a view of our sunscreen bricks there. So yeah, we really have this twofold look here, where it really, I think I'm happy with it because it feels like an amusement park ride. I didn't have space to build a proper queue, which space is the #1 issue of having this park, it being these little islands. Mostly because I wanted to get this build done without the frame rate dying, but based on how many individually placeable trees I did in this build, that's probably not going to happen. Here I'm decorating our little facility. I put in one of the JP gates, but I left it open so the Utahs can walk in and out. I ended up putting the raptor exhibit in here, just because, you know, it looks cool and, you know, it's raptors. I meant to put the Monolophosaurus in here. It's on the species list, but we didn't have space, and I kind of forgot until I was basically done with the build. So maybe there'll still be room for it in the park. I'm not sure. If there is, we'll add it. If not, I think that's fine, unless you guys really specifically want Monolophosaurus. Maybe I could replace the Torosaurus with that. So yeah, here I'm using mostly the tropical trees, but I'm filling in with the temperate trees, the fluffy bush. And I also threw in some biosyn trees, because I think they look really cool to complete that biome and make it just look really creepy looking. I think I really nailed the aesthetic with this of a dark jungle amusement park ride as best you can in this game. Actually, the jungle brush in the first game was superior. It really carried the look, you know, of the dark Jurassic jungle better, which obviously it's pretty hard to do in this game, but the lighting of the first game was really, I prefer that. Despite this game being much better. Here I'm adding the JP gate, by the way. I'm really surprised there isn't a mod for Evolution 2 that gives Evolution 1 lighting, but I can see why that would be very, very hard to do. Hopefully that'll be a thing that we get one day, maybe after release, because I know a lot of mods are waiting. Maybe I'm not going to talk this whole episode. Maybe I will, because it's really just a lot of placing trees. I do think there are some pretty cool views I created here with the rocks. I try not to overuse the rocks. I know a lot of the best builders do use rocks everywhere, but I don't have the time or processing power to do that. So, yeah, we're not going to. I guess I'll just talk about my build process here for a little while so you guys don't have to sit in silence and watch the build. The main thing that I think has been holding my parks back, having seen a lot of the best builders out there, is the order, and I think this is probably the case for a lot of people, the order of building. Early builders, what they often do is they build the fences for where the dinosaurs are going to be, then they add path and buildings. And then I think the best builders find space for the habitats among the guest areas, which is harder and much more time consuming, but it creates better results. Wow, the invisible fences have a huge hitbox. But anyway, what was I saying? The best builders, they place path first, building second, exhibits third. What I do right now is I place my big buildings, then I fill in the space with the path, which honestly creates not very natural path work, but mostly it creates weird space that I can't fill in with nature very well or naturally. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. I'm going to experiment with drawing the lines with path and then attaching buildings to create that. I think that'll make it look more like a zoo, a little less industrial, which is something I do want for this park, to keep the Island Paradise feel a little better. So yeah, we'll try that out next episode, and we're going to be building more guest sections. Here I'm framing up the Jurassic Park gates with all these trees. I put in a few redwoods to give like an Isla Sorna, but I didn't overdo that, mostly because they're huge trees and it's still a tropical jungle. This was a jungle island until Masrani Biosyn and Engine all got here. So yeah, there's the Utah and Metri habitats filled in pretty much. Now I'm filling in the Stegosaurus riverbank that's also in here. Mostly because I needed a place to put the Stegosaurus and I want it in this park, but also I think it does go pretty well in the jungle. You know, you're going through the dark jungle at night. I've been saying jungle a lot in this episode. And then you run across your big carnivores. Then you go out through the gate, and you're in the more peaceful Stegosaurus probably not the safest to have cars near, especially in such a tight space for them where they can't really navigate out of these rocks. So yeah, I did cut out a good bit of this episode, and also, obviously, as usual, we had recordings issues where stuff didn't record. Xbox really needs to fix that, or at least add a way to add on a better program or something. This was really fun, though. I think I want to do more of this, because it fills in a lot of space fast, but it was really fun builds compared to the endless guest sections I usually do. And I did put that poll up recently. Do you guys want bigger guest areas or not? Sorry, not guest areas. Bigger exhibits or not? And you guys said, yeah, bigger exhibits are better, which I think I kind of agree, and I think that'll make my building process a little easier, and easier on my Xbox to process. So we'll be trying that out. Not quite as much with this park, because I still want to get in our 18 species, and it is quite limited in space, and I have a lot of ideas, especially the next episode. If I have space, it's going to take up a lot of space. We're doing a path art. That's going to be pretty cool, if it works. So yeah, here I was just going back and making sure it's an intact exhibit, and there's no places where the dinosaurs can walk through. I tried to do some rock work here, but I didn't want to spend 30 minutes placing a ton of rocks. Overall, I think I spent like 90 minutes on this build. Not long for an Evolution 2 3 exhibits. I think that's not too bad compared to the last episode, which was like 4 hours or something like that, and the one before was 2.5, 3. But yeah, anyway, I was just fortifying this beach area, because now the beach looks pretty separate, so I sort of lean into that. Here, I'm decorating the entrance to the tour, which I think looks pretty cool, to have this also reflect the aesthetic of the inside, like when you go to Universal Studios specifically, which is what I'm thinking about, but also, of course, all parks like that. They have these really well-themed queues, and I didn't really have space to put a proper queue, but I like this little guest area. Especially with those tombstones with the lights on them. I think that looks like a really nice screenshot. So yeah, I was just filling in with some more trees. That real separation from the outside to the inside, but also as you go through the tour, that separation sort of fades away, the illusion fades away, and you're out in the open with the Stegosaurus, and you can see the guest area. It'd be really cool to tour this at dawn, so it's night when you go in, and then morning when you arrive back, and then continue exploring the park. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this episode. We're gonna go through and tour real quick. I cut out some of the tour because I didn't want the episode to be long, and also it didn't record like half of it, the part where I was actually driving the vehicle, but I have some capture mode shots for you guys. Thank you for watching the episode if you're still here. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, stay tuned for the next episode, probably next week. Maybe I'll even get it in tomorrow. I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, just placing down the last few rocks here, and then we'll go through the tour. I don't think I'll talk over that. I've said everything that I want to say. You don't have to listen to me talk anymore now. Enjoy the capture mode.